Greetings. Welcome to Talking About People. I want to talk about ethics. So I had an interesting experience that happened last night. I was with it was my brother, one of his friends, my mother, my niece, my father, and then I had my girlfriend. And it's the weekend, the summer's like ending, or school starting back and everything for for everyone, and we just kind of like wanted to have a nice like sort of ending ritual to the summer break. I don't know. You see what I'm saying? No, we were basically having a night of like fun, where we all like we had a bonfire. So we made a bonfire. We were like roasting marshmallows and like hot dogs, and good American fun, the American dream. And we had leftover fireworks from the 4th of July. So we all decided to just to shoot some of them off. So it was Friday night. It was about 9:30, and 9:30, 9:40, something like that. Friday night, and so we started. So we shot some of them off. We shot like 3 or 4 off, and then by that time, one of our neighbors came outside. Now, okay, well here's the thing. One of our neighbors is girlfriends. So we've lived beside a neighbor for many years, over 10 years now. And his girlfriend came outside and walked over to us and told us, and to be fair, like I'm not going to, I guess, mess with the story to sort of make it seem like we were justified, but we may have been, I don't know, but they came over and pretty much like nicely asked. It was nicely. It was kind of catty. It was a catty way, but it was pretty much just like, hey, look, can you not do that? And it was like 9:40. I mean, the weekend, and I responded a little dickishly. Okay, I said that we would stop doing it, and that perhaps she should invest in some earplugs. So, so maybe that wasn't the best thing to say, because that certainly escalated things. Because she responded like, oh, what did you say? And I was just like, well, I said that we would stop, but, furthermore, you should invest in some earplugs. And then she started saying how her boyfriend was like sick and he has surgery in like 2 weeks. And I said, well, we're not going to be shooting fireworks off every day for the next 2 weeks, so you don't have to worry about that. And things that kind of escalated, and eventually it turned into my brother yelling out very not noble-like comments at this moment, and like just yelling at her, like calling her a fucking stupid bitch, and it got pretty escalated, okay? And she said like, you will not shoot any more off. And he like walked up and like lit one and just put it down in front of her and like walked away. Oh, it was pretty bad. But anyways, so she went and I guess she just ended up leaving. Said some comments about how like we had no respect and everything like that. And I mean, the thing is, it's like it was a Friday night. It wasn't even 10 p.m. yet. We just shot off like 4 fireworks in total, and I mean, it was private property. Like, I understand their complaint, but I don't think it was necessarily just. Now, we would have stopped. We did stop. I think my brother's behavior was definitely unjustified. But anyway, she went back indoors and she like called the cops, and the cops, instead of coming to our house, stopped at another neighbor's house and asked them what was going on, and they said nothing was going on, like it's probably just some neighbors making trouble, which is what it amounted to for us. But anyway, so that's the story. But the thing about it is, it brought up some ethical questions to me. Because, I mean, okay, I may have responded like a dick. I think, honestly, I may have responded like a dick. But still, I mean, I don't think she was completely in the right either. Like, she doesn't even own that place. We weren't making any trouble. I think the reality is she thought it was probably just, my brother and myself and maybe a few friends, and she gave her like some sort of justification in her mind that she could like show the rowdy teenagers, who the boss is or some shit, But and then ended up being my whole family there. And well, anyways, it brought up some ethical questions because I think like, let's think of the NAP for example, like the non-aggression principle, right? Did we really transgress in this situation? I mean, everything that happened. I mean, okay, even when my brother walked up and like fired off another firework, it was still in our yard. She was just over the fence. She was talking at the fence. He walked up and like near the fence where we were shooting him off at, and I put another one down and lit it, and then like walked off. So it wasn't necessarily a transgression. Like no one got hurt here. No one got hurt in this scenario. Maybe some buildings got hurt. But it made me question, who was in the wrong here? I mean, were any of us in the wrong, really? I don't know. I think it wasn't exactly no one was in the right. I'll put it that way. I don't think anyone was in the right. I think perhaps, or what I mean by that, I don't think anyone had the moral high ground necessarily. I do think my brother treated it very poorly, but I probably caused him to do that because I was the first one who responded aggressively. It just felt very rude to me because we've lived here all of our lives. It's a Friday night, like it's not late at all, and I don't know. It was just it didn't seem like something that would be bothering anyone to me, but we were going to we were going to stop anyways. We only had like two more. One of them we set off was the one that Cody did in front of her, but I think the best way to handle it would have been to been like, okay, well, we're gonna shoot off a couple more and then we'll be done for the night. We're sorry, like this caused you any trouble, but we'll be finishing up soon. I think that would have been the best way to respond, and if I could redo the situation, that's how I would have responded. Because I really didn't know how to respond. I felt like it gave her. She came over with some sort of like moral high ground, and I think that was the problem. I think that now that I've reflected on it for a bit, the best response probably would have been to been like, okay, we're gonna shove a couple more, but that's all we have. I'm sorry it caused you any trouble. We were just having a nice like get together, just sort of like an ending ritual for the summer. But yeah, I'm sorry that there's only be concerned. Like it'll be over like in another like 5 minutes, and we're sorry I bothered you. And it would be like, oh, okay, well, have a good night or whatever. That would have been the best way to respond. I don't think I responded justly. I think what I did was an unjust thing. I may write her a letter and apologize. But it made me think about the non-aggression principle. I think the non-aggression principle at best has to be something that's kind of relative. And the reason I say that is because it's hard for me to look at this situation objectively and decide, like, who is in the wrong here? Who exactly... I think I know what the most ethical course of action would have been now. But, no one necessarily got hurt. It wasn't an obvious transgression on anyone's property rights. Okay, here's another thing. I read this. There was a libertarian thinker who actually brought up this example once, and he said the NAP has to be something that is not absolute and is actually relative and or at least ambiguous. And the reason his justification for it was because of the Socrates paradox. So, for example, if I took a flashlight and shined it at like I don't know, if I shine it at Eric, let's say I shine a flashlight at Eric's arm or something, like, I mean, I don't think that would be a transgression. And if it was, then it would just be like, bro, knock it off. Like, and I would just be like, oh, sorry. Now, if I took like a 5,000 gigawatt laser and shined at Eric's arm and incinerated his arm off his body, that would be an obvious transgression. I don't think anyone in their right mind would think like, you know, for no reason, if I did that for no reason. Now, maybe if I was on my own property, justified. But, you know, okay, both a flashlight and both a gigawatt laser are going to, they both use photons. And because of the Socrates paradox, you can't deductively determine when it would become a transgression. Like, does it become a transgression when he's like, ow, oh, bro, knock it off, you know? Like, if you're adding one photon, one by one, and then continuously, like, shining it or something, I don't know. Or does it, you know, I don't know. Who can really, how do you determine that? And there's probably going to be disagreement over it. Another example would be like, now this isn't a, well, this is to kind of give an example of the Socrates paradox. Like a beard. Like, I shaved a while back, if anyone noticed in one of the videos. But, okay, if I had no beard, so the first premise would be like, Zachary doesn't have a beard anymore. And then one day of growth, I still wouldn't have a beard. Because I'm young, my beard doesn't run that fast. Okay, that would be logically consistent. But you couldn't replicate the process over and over again. It would be logical, but it's an informal fallacy because eventually you'd be like, okay, Zachary obviously has a beard now. You know, like that. He obviously has a beard. The logic is sound, but something's wrong. So it'd be an informal fallacy, right? And that's basically what that libertarian thinker was saying. I feel bad I don't remember his name, but I'll put it in the description or something. But he says that, you know, it's relative because there's going to be disagreement. It's ambiguous. That's probably the best way to put it. It's ambiguous. And that made me think about this whole situation. You know, no one's getting necessarily hurt. I mean, maybe if someone like threw like a firework over into their property or something, then perhaps. But yeah, I mean, no one was getting hurt out of this situation. Could the non-aggression principle really be applied in this scenario? I mean, that's something that I've been thinking about since it happened, and I feel like people would disagree over, you know, who's in the right or who's in the wrong. I think the most ethical thing would probably be to, like I said, if we would have said, okay, look, we only have a few more, like, we're gonna shoot those off. It'll take like 5 minutes. I'm sorry this, you know, presented you some concern. We're sorry that it upset you, but it's not gonna last that much longer. It's not that late anyways. I'm sorry, you know, have a good night. And they say, okay, that makes sense. Like, that's reasonable. They say, have a good night too. That would have been the most ethical way, I think. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. But obviously the cops didn't think it was big enough concern because it never came out. They stopped at someone else's house and asked them, like, is someone really fucking up the atmosphere around here or what? And they were just like, no, that's just neighbors being fucking crazy. So I don't know. What do you guys think? What? Am I the asshole here? That's what I'm going to call this video. Am I an asshole? Cheers.